Thank you for auditing the always positive new music review show hosted by a French professor and Goat. And I wasn't going to do a video today, but apparently Billie Eilish came out with a new song, and so whenever Billie Eilish comes out with a new song, Goat gets excited, I get excited. As you can see behind us, that's an image of our ticket. We got tickets to see Billie Eilish in Buffalo, so we're very excited about that. It's a very happy Billie Eilish house. And so let's talk about this new song. Let's talk about Lost Cause. First of all, Goat, what are your general feelings about this song?
Well, when I first heard the title and that was what's going to be released, I got a little bit scared because I know from your last, review, you were like, I really want an upbeat song.
Yeah, something to dance to, you know?
Something to dance to, and I was like, oh, this sounds really sad. But, it's still going to be good, and I'm very excited for it. I don't know if Dad will be particularly too happy, but, I'm happy.
Right, and Lost Cause is also the name of a song by a different, very eccentric Los Angeles-based musician named Beck, who is, I don't like Beck very much, and I hate the song Lost Cause. He's got a guitar, baby, you're a lost cause. I can't stand it, so I was a little bit afraid that maybe they were going to do a cover, but it's not quite that. This was the bop that I was looking for. I mean, I guess I Think Therefore I Am is as well, but this is like the kind of, it's not like fast, but it's got a danceability to it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. But also, you are in tune with the internet. You know what the internet is saying. What is the internet saying about Lost Cause? Are they as excited as us?
Half of it is, yes. So I like Billie Eilish, if you can tell, and I have Instagram, and I opened it up, and in my Explore page is just all Billie Eilish related stuff.
Okay.
I don't purposefully even look for it. They're just like, hey,
it's just all there.
You're gonna see it, and so
just like all my stuff is vintage Star Wars toys, your stuff
Kanye
and Kanye.
Yeah.
Yours is all Billie Eilish, right?
So I see it, and it's like Billie Eilish is getting dragged for releasing another slow song.
What?
On the internet? Yeah, that's exactly what it said.
Internet.
And I was like, okay, it was like a thread of stuff, with different tweets on Instagram. I don't know why, but I scrolled through it, and it's like, oh my gosh, another slow one, and it's like, oh, come on, and it's like, oh, this isn't good. I've been supporting Billie Eilish for 2 years. And the song writing ability, the lyrics aren't as good. It's just bad.
So kind of typical internet hate. It does make sense because it is sort of a bop, but it is sort of upbeat. But at the same time, it's not exactly like a synthesizer, crazy lead, borderline hyper pop, sort of gothy, weird dance song like she did in the past. What I find interesting about it is the instrumentation. It's not acoustic instruments, but the electronic instruments that Phineas is choosing are closer in sound to actual acoustic instruments. The drum sound in particular seems to be a shift towards a real sounding drum machine, away from trap beats, away from 808 beats, away from beats that sound like they're from 2021, and more like drum sounds that are trying to sound like old drum kits. Same thing with the bass that's on here. It doesn't sound like a synth bass. It actually sounds like a bass you can play. Goat is a fairly good beginning bassist, and I think she should learn how to play this song on bass.
I haven't played bass in 2 years.
Yeah, last time you played bass, you played Boys and Girls by Panic at the Disco, which is a good bass line.
Okay.
One thing this reminds me of in terms of its danceability and its tempo and its attitude is actually like 90s R&B soul, like TLC, music like that. Sort of like good pop music that you can dance to but is not designed as like a sort of sugary dance high. One thing I will say, Goat, is the vocals are so loud.
They are pretty loud.
I mean, I thought it couldn't get worse, but as the song goes, it starts off, but the second verse, they're insanely loud. In the pre-chorus, it sounds like she's eating the microphone. You actually had some thoughts about the vocals. So what do you think about them, Goat?
They're definitely different than her typical, at least recording style. I thought that everything kind of sounded like it was cut off.
Right, because it opens up with, there's something in that.
Yeah, but that was a very exaggerated version of it. I feel like every lyric kind of ended with a eh.
Yeah, there's a lot of sounds. As a goat, I imagine you'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Maybe Billie Eilish is influenced by you, Goat.
Maybe, After the hairstyle and everything.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, when you listen to the vocals, I'm more and more impressed by her vocals as things go along. Like if we listen to the second verse, her singing skills, it's like she can do this sort of speak, sing-songy thing, which is very clearly influenced by hip-hop, which is one of her biggest influences. But at the same time, maybe recording a James Bond song sort of changed her because she's also more jazzy, a little bit more like belting and more intimate. She has so much vocal range that I think is a little bit overlooked because, you know, her vocal range isn't that she can go low to high. It's that she can go from sort of intimate to kind of rough to kind of vulnerable to kind of brassy to kind of reserved. She's able to do all of that. And if you just listen to the song once, like those jerks on the internet, I could see how you just go, whatever. But we listened to it, what, like 5 times in a row?
We listened to it way too many times in a row.
Yeah, and it really works. I really like the pre-chorus, how it has this weird kind of like West Coast funk style, the high synthesizers. I like how Phineas elected to go with a ride cymbal as opposed to a hi-hat on the verse. It's actually showing a kind of typical thing that rock musicians have done for years and years and decades, you know, of going a hi-hat and then to the ride to create some kind of delineation between the drum beats. It's all really quite there. So yeah, it's just really good. The vocals are so loud, but they're so good that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And it feels to me like that's what really matters to her. But really, as always, Billie Eilish is a 2-person group. Billie Eilish is 2 people, and Phineas is just giving her this great backdrop, this really weird, almost throwback backdrop. It's really nice. I like how it gets spacey. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
The pre-chorus after the second verse, that keyboard comes in, it's a little bit louder, and then there's this weird echo, and then some oohs, and it feels like it's going to fall apart right up until the last chorus. Kadoosh! Comes back.
I noticed that usually when like you're kind of building up towards something, it's then this like big explosion of noise.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like they flipped it around. There was a lot of noise, and then they built it up, and things just felt like a lot more far apart and a little bit more quiet, but still loud. You know what I mean?
That's a good point, Goat.
Yeah.
I'm you should have your own channel. But
Welcome to Professor Goat's Record Regoat.
that's right, Professor Goat's Record Regoat. Yeah, and that's true. You know, like the dynamics, they're not typical. There's not like a drop, right? There's not something that's built up. It really is. It's weird because her last couple songs have felt so intimate, have felt so much just like Phineas and Billie and just like 2 people working together. The song feels much bigger, but it really isn't. It's still just these 2 people
I'm
making.
assuming you mean My Future and Your Power.
I mean, My Future and Your Power.
Because her last 2 songs were Therefore I Am. And
Right.
Power.
Okay. Yeah. I'm skipping over Therefore
Yeah.
I Am. The outro is cool because Phineas brings back a guitar sound, which you get the sense if it was up to him, he'd always be playing guitar.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sort of a blandly tinny guitar, but it's nice. And at the end, it actually builds up at the end as well with something of a crescendo of the guitar sounds. I can't tell. Please tell me in the comments because I'm trying to react quickly here. I don't do reactions, I do analysis, but this is kind of a reaction. I'm sort of cheating.
Slightly,
I'm
yeah.
cheating a little bit. I can't quite tell if the drum sounds change to be more synthetic sounding at the end. I think they do, but
I think they do.
but it could be a trick of the ear.
Oh.
Sorry. Excuse me, Goat. Now, as far as the lyrics go, Goat, I am so sick of this ex-boyfriend. Whoever this guy is so beneath her. It just feels unfair that she's still upset with him. The whole song is, right, it's still about the same guy. It's still about Q.
Yeah.
And it's just okay. But like, I saw the video and I saw who this guy was, you know? And
Documentary.
yeah, the documentary. What I think it is artists often use somebody as a muse. This has traditionally been used muse. Is that a muse fuse? Like they often will take somebody and use them as an excuse. They'll use a muse as an excuse. So traditionally this would be done like in Renaissance poetry or something, where someone's writing about the nature of beauty and they say about a woman, but the woman doesn't actually matter. She's just a vessel for these words. I think this is that case where Q doesn't actually matter. It's just a way for Billie Eilish to get her poetry out.
I mean,
So, yeah.
potential. I think that's definitely the case, but like, I'm assuming just from watching the documentary that like it definitely was a bad relationship, and
Right.
if you're as young as she is, there's probably not a lot of very exciting and traumatic things to happen in your
Right.
lifetime.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That could be.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all good lyrics. I just, thematically, I am getting the sense that this new album, I'm Happier Without You. I'm Happier Without You is going to be a little too happier ever after.
When he told me about the tickets, he was trying to build it up, and then he was just like, hey, I'm happier without you. And I got very sad and confused, and I was like, what?
I'm happier without you.
Did I do something wrong? Am I okay? And he's like, we got tickets. I'm like, to what? Are you going to sell me?
Selling a goat at an auction. Haggadada. Yeah. Well, whatever the album's called, it seems to be going to be happier this way.
Happier than ever.
Happier than ever. This is not an act, by the way. This is what happens when you become a dad and you get 43-year-old brain. You just can't keep his stuff together. I do like some of the lyrics more than others. I like the idea. I used to think you were shy, but you had nothing going on in your mind.
That is just hilarious.
It's
I'm
hilarious.
gonna start using that.
Well, this is the thing, is that very often, and this is not always gendered, but often there will be guys who are very quiet and they try to like project a profundity to their quietness, like, you just don't get me, I'm just so deep.
Soft boys?
And I don't speak internet, but like then you like knock on their head and it's hollow because they're not actually like really deep. They just learned if they don't say anything and they're handsome enough, people will just assume they must be
like
smart.
Jughead Jones in the Riverdale thing?
I don't know if it's like Jughead Jones.
It's like, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. That's me. I'm weird. And he just doesn't say anything. But then, like, if you actually watch it long enough, you're like, yeah, this dude's just an idiot.
Yeah, I've never watched Riverdale, but in the audience, in the comments, please tell me, is goat right? Is that what it's like? But then we have this great line, which I think is actually the takeaway that I would, I've got goat here, but if I had my daughter here, I would say this is a very good lesson. I used to wish you were mine. That was way before I realized someone like you is so easy to find.
Yeah, your daughter thought that was cool too.
Yeah, like that's just a great line because it's not, if there is somebody and they're making you feel terrible and they're treating you like garbage, but you're really into it, that's a dime a dozen. You can find people like that all the time. So that's actually a really great message. And so is the final line, don't get complacent. If you're in a relationship, don't get complacent, keep fighting.
Right?
No, complacent.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, don't get complacent, meaning like don't get used to it,
She was like teasing that lyric on her Instagram thing.
Oh, was she?
I always thought it was complicit.
No, it's complacent. You're just like my daughter. She has funny
Yeah.
problems with words. The final pre-chorus has a great switch in the lyrics where initially she said, I sent you flowers, you didn't even care. And then it became, I sent you flowers, I wish I didn't care. That's the sort of Eillish twist, which she often does, and it makes her lyrics much better than they normally would be. Because You Didn't Even Care is just a song complaining about a bad lover. I Wish I Didn't Care is her complaining about herself and this attachment that she has to somebody who is beneath her. So here we have all these great messages, and I think this is a very positive song for young women and young girls. But Goat, what about the video? What are people saying about this music video, Goat?
Okay, so when she first teased the music video and stuff, well, she just said like new song next week, last week, and then yesterday she was like, hey, it's gonna be tomorrow, and she showed kind of like the before they actually put the music over the music video.
Right, and just so you know, the video is her in a room with like 5 other women having a slumber party, dancing around, playing with silly string, super soakers, video games, potato chips, playing Twister, just like a slumber party with a bunch of fun young women hanging around, hanging out together.
The way you said it kind of sounds creepy.
Oh, I did not mean it to sound creepy.
Yeah, but
Smash that like bucket if that was creepy.
yeah, that was me.
Yes, she's the one who came up with the term
Yeah.
smash that like bucket.
It was totally.
Okay, so what are people saying about this video? We know what it's about. We know it was teased, but what are they saying, Goat?
When the first teaser came out, a bunch of people in the comments were like, hell yeah, Hot Girl Summer song. Do you know what
Hot
that is?
Girl
Or is it
Summer.
too old?
Yeah, I know about Hot Girl Summer.
Yeah.
So the theme would be that like this is a song about women being poorly dressed or being underdressed and jumping around and kind of acting provocative.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of just like, I guess so.
Yeah.
I feel like you phrased it like an old man, but
I am as God made me. Yeah, so I mean, I think it is interesting because the video is a weird mixture of sort of like innocent and like provocative. So there's a lot of twerking going on in this video. I know all children love to hear their parents say the word
yeah,
twerking.
fun.
There's a lot of twerking going on in the video, which I imagine is going to get a lot of people saying, she used to be a role model, now she's twerking. But at the same time, like the feeling I get is, as always, with whatever it is that she's doing now, with this different way she's presenting herself with the blonde and wearing less clothing and all that, she's always in control of it. She's always the master of her own image. She's always the master of her own presentation. So there's nothing that she can do which will actually be debasing unless this is not her own decision, which it so very clearly is. So as far as I'm concerned, her next video could just be her twerking for 15 minutes because that's what she decides to do in the song that she wrote, in the video that she made, in the way that she wants to present herself. Right, Goat?
Yes.
You want me to stop saying twerking?
Yes, please. The next thing that people were, this was more of a complaint, it's that the music video didn't match the song at all.
Yes.
I think they just watched the music video with the sound off.
No.
If you look at it more like in depth, it kind of just seems like it's like really late at night, like maybe like you know, like 11 o'clock, like not
Right.
super late.
I mean, it's filmed during the day, but it feels like a slumber party.
Like,
Yep.
It feels like it's really late and you're just like rambling on to your friends about how annoying this dude is.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because in some ways, like that, when she says that line that I love, my favorite line, I wish I didn't care, she's actually pointing at her friend's butt while her friend is, I have to say it again, twerking. Like that definitely, that is incongruous. It doesn't go together. Unless you see it as, this is her recovering from her bad breakup. How do you recover from a bad breakup? You strengthen the relationships that you have that are positive. You confide in friends, and then you get stronger. I absolutely agree, Goat.
I think
does
it
go.
fit perfectly. I honestly couldn't think of a better music video for it. I thought it was great, and I think it matched the song well, actually.
Well, Goat, that is not because they didn't watch the video with the sound on. It's because they were not smart enough to see the connection.
Man, a goat's smarter than you.
Oh, I'm doing a high five thing. You can't see.
Oh, I can't see anything. Yeah.
Also, she's wearing a brown Brooklyn Dodgers hat, which is funny because the mall where she filmed Therefore I Am, the Glendale Galleria, I went when I was Billie Eilish's age, and I bought a brown and yellow Boston Red Sox hat with matching brown and yellow pants and sneakers. And I looked like the biggest goofball in the world. I thought you'd be amused with that. Okay, well, someone's coming to the house, Goat. That was a good video.
Yeah.
Until the next time she drops a video, there's the camera.
I can't see anything.